Hello everyone. Am I audible to you all? Hello. Okay. So my voice is coming. So I hope that you all of you have revised the day 1, day 2, day 3 optimizations. That what we did. And today we will look at another optimizations that you generally like use in many of the sites, and we are going to know that how these optimization works at the code level, right? So we'll talk about it like 2 3 minutes later. Let's just wait for 2 3 minutes and then we'll start the session, right? So if anyone is having any doubt related to like previous sections, you can ask me, then we'll start the session otherwise, right? Okay. So, I hope you all have received the uh, all day notes like day 1, day 2, day 3. Today, I'll share the day 4 notes also with you, like we did yesterday. Like at the end of the class, we revised through our notes, right? I think it was good to revise at the end through our notes that what we perform and we just see in the textual form in 1 2 3 minutes. So it gives a good and brief revision of what we learned, right? What we have learned in the class of 1 hour. Okay. So, yes. Okay. So, uh, okay, this would be day 4, day 5 after. And okay. So, yes, let's just wait for 2 3 minutes more and then we'll start the session. I think we can start the session, right? Because many of the students just come to fill the attendance form, right? At the 7:45 time. Suddenly the watching goes to 100 or 120 many times. I have saw this thing, right? So I think we can start the session. And today we will look at this thing, right? Many of the times you have seen that there is like light mode and theme mode available on the top of the site. So what particular thing you can see from here? So you can see that you are clicking on this particular part, rest of the things are remaining same, right? But what is happening there, css is getting changed. Only the css part is getting changed. Okay. So what many of the companies were doing before is that suppose this particular header is a component, right? This particular thing is also a component. So what they did is that they applied the css, or you can say the theme button, differently to these components, right? There So what was happening when you are clicking on this particular theme button, so every component was getting its css from the backend. But on the optimization side, what someone figured out is that we can like allot a small part on a page which will actually catch this, yes, this particular theme button has been clicked. And what it will do that when the theme button is clicked, it will take that result, and it will go to the backend and show the css to all of the components which are here, right? So this is what the optimization will be performing here, right? You will be get more clarity about like when we'll be writing the code, you'll get more clarity about the optimization. So if anyone is having any doubt that what optimization we'll be performing, you can ask me now, because when we start coding, I'll take the doubts at the end of the class only. Right? If you have any doubt that what is the optimization we are going to perform today, you can just ask me in the chat section. Okay? Like what I said, if something is not clear to you, right? Though it will get more clear to you once we start coding, you'll see, yes, this is the optimization that we did. Okay. Okay. Yes. So I'm waiting for you that if you have any doubt, you can just ask me now, right? That related to any kind of what you say uh, to towards the optimization, that what we are going to perform. Okay, I think no one is having any doubt, and I think I can just explain it once again. So what we were performing, that if you are clicking on the theme section, right? Theme section. So what is happening in this particular site? That only the color of the background is changing. Rest all things are remaining same, right? So what was happening previously is that when you are clicking on the theme, like previously when the optimization technique was not introduced in the companies, right? Before, what was happening, when you are clicking on the theme button, so each of the component on the page is getting loaded again, or you can say re-rendered again. So what someone did is that it said that we'll keep the track of this theme button separately in a small component in a page, like it can be anywhere. So what that particular thing will do, it will change only the css, and rest of the things will remain as it is. So what is happening, your re-rendering part is saved on the lot, like you're saving the re-rendering part. You are making the component fixed, and you're making the re-rendering part like not able to re-render, right? So this is in short that what optimization will be performing, right? Okay, I think I explained it again, right? If anyone is having any doubt, like specific doubt, you can ask me. Yes, this particular thing is not clear to us in the optimization that we'll be performing today. Okay, because then we'll move forward to the coding part, and we'll see some of the concepts of React also. That what concept of React today we will be following, right? Today, though many of those people who are aware of use context, right? It would be an easy class for you. We covered in the last bootcamp also that how the use context thing works. Okay, we'll be looking at it also. When you click the button, I usually see the symbol of button change. We will learn about like button change of like what this particular thing, like the button is changing, right? Yes, yes, you'll see that how that particular thing is also working like this. We are toggling the theme. So what the theme section is showing here, that it is dark now. When you toggle the theme, it says that it's light now, right? So instead of like textual form, you can add icons to it, right? Font.I, there is okay, my name, you can see this Rudra Arora, right? My name is Rudra Arora. Okay. Uh, so this is what the optimization we'll be learning. And before starting the optimization, I'd like to share some of the, like we'll revisit the concepts of use context. Okay, before starting, right? So today you'll look at, I think all of you are aware of the what is prop drilling, and how the context, use context, helps to save that prop drilling us, right? Suppose there, so what is the prop drilling problem that we were facing in React earlier? So what was happening? Suppose there is an application, right? It has content, it has header and content, right? So if there is something and context and the content has a child blog, blog has a child blog post, blog post has a child author weight, and author weight widget is having a child which is author avatar. So what was happening, if something has to be used by this author avatar, suppose you can think of a, like let me just make one thing clear, it would be more clear to you. Suppose there is some property, right? There is some property in it, like you can say color of text in author avatar, color of text in author avatar. So as this particular author avatar is a child of content, like not an direct child but an indirect child, so what will happen, the author avatar will be passed to application color of text. Okay, color of text to the author avatar. I think there are more typos. Okay, so what will happen, the color of text will pass to application, then it has passed to content, then it will pass to blog, then it will pass to blog post, and then it will pass to author widget, and then it will pass to author avatar. So are you able to see that there is a prop drilling, even though the color of the text was for author avatar, but due to but it is a child of these all above content above it, it has to be passed through all of them, right? Even though they are not using that particular color text. So this was the problem of the prop drilling. So if so what use context actually helps us. So the use context actually declares this color as suppose okay, now I'll just stop here. If anyone is having any doubt in the prop drilling part, just ask me, like what is the prop drilling happening, right? In short, I'll explain it again, that what is happening is that the color of the text is for author avatar, but it is a child of content, like indirect child of content, then indirect child of blog, or you can say the grandchildren of blog post. Author widget is like the direct father. So what will happen, the color of the text have to be passed through all of these four things, and then it will reach to this particular author avatar, right? Even though these four are not using it, but we have to pass it to their child. You can say inheritance, like okay, like your father is having red hairs, so then you will be also having the red hairs. You can just make a good analogy from there, right? So this is what is happening, that even though the color was not used by content, was not meant for blog, but not meant for blog post, and neither meant for author widget, but it has to be passed down all of these to get to this author avatar, right? So this was actually the problem of prop drilling, and you'll see that how the context API or use context is helping to avoid this. So if anyone is having any doubt that what is prop drilling, you can ask me now, right? Because we'll start coding, though it was part of the previous bootcamp, but I thought that revisiting it would be a good thing, like in the starting of the session. Okay, so you can just ask me that if you have any doubt related to the prop drilling. Otherwise, we'll move to part that how the use context helps us to avoid the problem of prop drilling. I think no one is having any doubt, because we already covered this particular thing in the last session also. Okay. Okay. So everyone understood the what is prop drilling is, right? I think, okay. Okay. So what was happening is that there was a feature. What you say? Where is this? Okay. So there was a feature that is color of text. You can say red color. There is a red color for avatar, right? For author avatar, right? Red color for author avatar, right? But it was, like you can say, wrapped in content, blog post, and author widget. So this red color has to be passed through all of these four to reach the author avatar, right? So what the context, the use context do, is that we'll move to the what use context do is that it will create this red color as a global object, kind of a global object. Okay, so when it is made as a global object, so what happens is that we can without passing the content, without passing it to the content, blog post and author widget, we can directly use this particular in the author avatar, right? So so this actually helps us to save the prop drilling, right? It makes the red color global. It will say there is a global red color, so anyone who wants to use it in our all project, okay, it can use that particular red color anywhere. So like though it is not for like the css part, but so that you can easily understand that how the use context is helping us to avoid the problem of prop drilling, I use this particular thing. Okay, so I think you'll be more okay. Okay, I think you will be more clear about that, how prop drilling was happening and how use context will help us to avoid this, right? Like you will declare here that use context kind of a thing. Like I'll share you the syntax when we'll be writing the code. So what it will do, it will make this particular thing global, right? So instead of passing it to the content, blog post, author widget and then to author avatar, we can directly use the slice of this global object into our file, right? Okay, so this actually makes help us to make our site more scalable. Okay, I think uh, your doubts are clear, and we can just close. I think we can pin this tag for a minute. Okay, if anyone is having any doubt, you can just ask me now, because when you'll start this coding part and someone asks that what is use context is doing, then actually it doesn't feel good, right? Okay. Though it was part of the previous boot camp, but I thought that if we'll revisit it, it will be great for you only, right? Okay. Okay, hello. Okay, nice. So this will be the project condition that you will achieve afterwards. So what is happening when you are clicking on the toggle theme? So we'll move towards the optimization. That what optimization we wanted to achieve. We wanted to achieve that when we are toggling the theme, the all of the content on the page is not getting re-rendered again. Only the css part is the thing which is getting re-rendered. So what optimization someone has done on the developer side is that it has provided one section on this page where it will be keeping the eye on this theme. So like when it turns to dark, the css should be this, otherwise it should be light. Rest all of the things is remaining intact. You can see that there is no reloading happening for the content, only the theme is changing, right? So this was the optimization that we wanted to achieve. So what is happening in the before condition is that when you are clicking on the toggle theme, the theme of so you can compare this heavy widget as the components on the page. Suppose this gfg page has this as a this is one component, right? This is another component, this is another component, this is another component, this is another component. So in the similar manner, I try to showcase that there are three different components. And what is happening then when we are toggling it, so what is happening, the theme of each widget is getting re-rendered, and how many times it is re-rendered, I have shown you the count. And what we have to achieve later is that we'll just toggle the theme, and it should just keep in mind that what is the theme, like and it will not re-render on this particular part. The components remain same. We have to just keep in mind that what is the theme is. Suppose in the after part, what is happening when you are clicking on the toggle, the theme is turning into dark light. You can see the count of these all have been stopped, right? So this is the particular thing that we wanted to achieve as an optimization, that the re-rendering of these particular components is not taking place, right? So it will help us to make our site more scalable. Okay, so anyone has any doubt in this, right? because we'll be soon starting with the coding part, that how to achieve this. Okay. So yes. Okay. You can ask me now. Okay. I think we can start with the coding part, and we'll take the doubts at the end, okay, or in between as soon as we finish the before part, and then we'll move to the after part. Okay, so you can come on my GitHub and take this template from here of day 4 before, and then we'll go to our code base. Okay, we'll just cut down these all tabs. We'll make a new folder. Oh, new folder. New folder of day 4. Day 4, we'll create an after thing in it. Let's wait for 1 minute. After.jsx. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, now what we have copied the template for, we have copied the template for the before part. Okay, and we'll take the before part here. Okay, so now we'll write the code, and in the similar manner, I think this particular code would be very known to you, that what is the render count. Okay. Okay, render count, render count const c as use ref. The initial value of use ref should be 0. It is use ref. And c dot current plus plus, and you're going to return okay. And in the similar manner, now you will see that we are creating the app dot context, right? We'll create the context, that is, though we are using in the before part, I'll tell you that what was the optimization that we'll do, right? We'll create the context. Now someone was having doubt, so what we did, now we created an app context as a global thing, right? We created this as a global thing. Okay, global thing, right? Now we can use it in any of our code, right? We'll see that how we are using it. Now there is a function. Now there is a function heavy. Okay, function heavy const is use context. Now you will see that how we use that. For now I have shown you that this particular thing in the same file, but when you make a like a good project, or you can say what you say like a scalable project, these two things would be in different file, right? So it will this is how you'll use this use context in another file very easily. Okay, so for now, for your easiness, I have shown you in the same file itself, right? Right, we're writing the same dummy code that we have like I think we are writing this particular code. uh, Wait a minute. So someone I think is asking about nahi, yes, no, this is not the case. What is happening, that you have to there are 2 3 kinds of certificate, that like there is one certificate that generates after you submit your code, and there is one another certificate that generates when you only submit your 5-day attendance, like you must have received the 5-day attendance right? So after that you get that particular thing. Okay. Okay. So you can just code along with me in this part. I think we are writing this particular function for like many days now, right? To like simulate the things, right? This is a heavy thing, heavy component, or you say. Okay. Then we'll be using the context dot theme. So I think now it will be clear to you what is happening, that we created the app dot context as a global thing. Now we use that particular thing in our component using slice function. Not it is a slice function, like use a use context, right? We have skipped like the prop drilling, and now we are directly using this particular app dot context from the global context into our code, right? So this was all about this part, and now in there I'll be asking the same thing, that const theme, set theme, and I think you must all be aware that what kind of what you say hook I am going to use, that is use state. Okay, let's just wait for 1 minute. Okay, so I think you can just like focus on the coding part for now. Like all these things are shared on the community group. Okay, so the timeline is depending upon the DevTown team, like when they'll generate what certificate, right? So I think first this just generate certificate for the attendance certificate only, right? Okay, so you can just check on the community group again and again. Now you can just focus on the coding part, like that is of more useful for you rather than like what you say you are collecting certificates. Okay, on click. What I want, that on click the toggle thing. I want to set theme. Set theme. The theme would be triple equals to dark. Okay, so I think we have written the before part, and we'll go to app.jsx. We'll go to import day 4 after, day 4 before. In this similar manner, we'll write for day 4. Day 4 before, we have imported this particular thing in a file. Okay. uh, I think we have to start our project also in the through terminal, that is React Optimizer. Okay, so day before is coming here, and now you will see that what is happening when you are toggling on the theme. Okay, so what is happening? Everything here is getting like the dark or the theme component. I do not want this re-rendering to happen, right? Okay, so what we'll do is that I think we are not getting here the I think there is something that we have missed. I think the render count functionality is not working properly. We'll look into it that what is happening. Okay. So I think in the heavy part, we are not rendered the rendered count. That is the main process that it will. Okay, now it is there. So what is happening as soon as we are toggling, you have to remove. Okay, const theme. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Command Z. Okay. Okay. Now you will see that what is happening in the day before when I'm toggling the theme, every component is getting re-rendered again and again. Like when I toggle the theme for the dark, the component got re-rendered. When I on the light, when I toggle the theme, it got again re-rendered. So this is how not the real world applications are working. We have moved towards the optimization, right? So what we'll do is that we'll just keep a part of a toggle here only, and we'll keep these all components as same as it is, right? This is what is happening in the GFG side also. You will see that these particular things would not be getting re-rendered, or you can say there is no loading, only the background color would be re-rendered. You will see that 1 2 1 2. So what is happening, these particular things are remaining as intact as they were, right? So now this was the before part. We saw that that what was the problem, and now we'll move towards it fixation. Right now we'll fix this particular part of code. Okay. So in the similar manner, we'll go for like what you say, we'll see at the React to my this particular GitHub. We'll move towards the after part. Okay, we'll copy the template of the component of day 4 after. Okay, function render count, the same way we did like before, right? Like const c use ref 0 when this particular thing will be called, make its current value plus plus, right? And in return, what I have to return from here is that span class name badge, destructure the name from it, and c dot current value. Okay, and in the similar manner, we'll create a const theme ctx, or what you say theme context. You can name it anything that you want, and in the similar manner, we'll create a context, right? We are actually making this particular thing as global, right? We have made this particular thing a global, and we are passing the initial value as dark, right? uh, Now you'll see that we're making the const heavy function. This is the same heavy function that we have implemented here, right? But I'm writing so that you can code along with me, and you get a better hand on the syntax of this particular thing, what you say, React, right? I think you will all be aware of what is this React.memo. We have covered this particular thing in the first boot camp, right? First day of the boot camp. Now we'll see the function heavy. Okay, function heavy. And in the similar manner, we'll be making a what you say, a mock database, like not mock database, a mock heavy operation, right? To show that this particular thing is a heavy thing, and re-rendering it is a like a expensive operation, so that it should not be re-rendered, right? So in the previous, like the before code, it was re-rendering, and it is not good on the server side, and as well as for the performance of a scalable site, it is not good, right? It is not good for that thing, right? Okay, so someone is asking for revision. Just let me complete the code, and then we'll revise through our notes like we did yesterday, right? Okay, we are making something like this, and in return, what is going to happen is that we div, you're going to div, and this class name is from the, what you say, the CSS that we have imported, that you must all have imported from my GitHub link also, right? We set up this particular project on the first day, right? So if anyone is having that, what is this class name? Heavy widget, heavy widget, and we are going to render count, render count, render count with name heavy. So what is happening then, when you are calling this render count with name heavy, it will go up here. It will say that there is something name which is passed through it, right? So heavy, so this heavy would be passed and heavy would be shown here and its current value, right? So this is what the code flow is like. And now you'll see that what I saw, what I told you, that will be capturing that particular theme in some component, right? Earlier it was like applying to all of the components separately, but what we'll do, we'll keep that particular thing in the separate, like in a small corner of our page, like on the toggle button itself, and we'll fetch the CSS from the backend completely on basis of that, right? So what we'll be doing, we'll be using const theme use context, theme context. Okay, we take the slice of the theme context in this particular small function, right? Earlier what was happening, it was getting into all components, but now we restricted it to the one function only, right? Okay, I'll share the GitHub link once we complete. We are just on the verge of completing the coding part, and then I'll just share all of the things that you want, right? Use memo. I think all of you are aware of use memo now. We took a lot of time on this in the previous class. So if someone doesn't know that what is use memo, you can watch them. For like one line explanation or revisiting, I can tell you that use memo actually helps us to memorize the expensive operation on our pages, and it gives a re-rendering, or what you say, recomputation of this particular function on the basis of the dependency array which is passed into it, right? So this is in short about what is what is a use memo hook is, right? Okay, so what we are going to do, I think no, this particular code does not belong here. It is for the down part. For here, what is going to do, you are going to return span, and what is the class name for the span? Let me just see. Class name is badge. Okay, badge, and it will be keeping the what is the theme value which has been shown to us, right? Theme. Okay, now we'll use here that particular code. Oh, wait a minute, I think we have to write that particular thing again. Now we'll write the use state function, use state hook, theme, set theme. So I think all of you are aware, like when we are clicking, there is a toggling thing. We always use the use state thing, right? Use state, because it is a like on click rendering, it provides like that particular functionality, right? So use state, in the dark mode, we'll be using the const theme value as use memo. Use memo will be passing the theme into it, and theme as a dependency array also. Okay, from here we'll be on applying the on click functionality on the toggle button, right? On click, what you have to do, you have to set theme, and what set theme you have to do, theme dark, we are using the ternary operator here, light and dark again. Okay, and now we'll import this particular thing in our app.jsx. Import day for after code. We'll just copy this thing here, day for after. Okay, so you can just keep it the self-closing tag. Okay, and now when we'll see this particular part, day for after. Now you will see that what we have done, we have actually reduced the theme to this particular section, right? Now these would be not be re-rendering, right? It will remain the intact. Right now when you are clicking on the toggle theme, it is turning to dark light, but it is not actually doing anything to these particular parts, right? We can just see this particular thing through the console log statement also. Let's go for the before part. In the heavy part you can just write console.log. What will be console, like we can write that I was same, but like what you say, my css was only changing but not the content, but still got re-rendered. Okay, re-rendered, right? You will see in the console log section also that what is going to happen in the day 4 before, in the console log section. Yes, day 4. So what is happening? See, you are clicking on the toggle theme, and what is happening? My css was only changing but not the content, but that particular thing still got re-rendered, right? So this is not the optimized approach. So what we did in the after part is that now we can write the console log statement here also, in the heavy part, right? Console.log. So this particular statement would run only once, like when the particular thing is loaded onto our page, right? Like there is one loading that happens to our page. So only that particular time this console log statement would work. So it will be saying that working, or you can say displaying only once. Displaying only once, right? So when you come here, you go for day for after. So only this part, that displaying for only once, coming 3 times, right? Because these are 3 objects. But when we are toggling it, there is nothing on the console log section, right? So what we did, though we changed the theme from dark to light, but we saved the re-rendering of these 3 objects, right? And there is another thing to notice is that we use the react.memo, right? We know that what this react.memo do, it actually shallow compares this particular what you say component from the previous state and say yes, there is no change, so I'll be not re-rendering. So we actually did what you say 2 checks, right? You can say 2 layered authentication kind of thing, right? That it will not get re-rendered until and unless something has changed. And also what we did, we actually created a context, and we are using it in a small function. What was happening before, we were using in the heavy what you say, in the function heavy itself, we were using use context. So what was happening, anything that changes in the app.context provider, it gets re-rendered. But what we did in the after part is that we have used that particular use context in a separate function, not in the components. So it actually helps us to save more like more re-rendering part, and we are just focusing on the like css change, not on the re-rendering part. Now I'll take the doubts for all of you, right? Right, so someone was asking for my github link. Let me show that github link, and then we'll revise this particular thing through our notes also, right? You'll see more of the real world application that on the basis, like on this particular basis, right? Let me just share the GitHub link also. And I think the this I think attendance link has also been shared. So do fill the attendance also, like carefully, right? Because you will not get certificate if you are not filling up the attendance. Okay. Okay. So this was my GitHub link. Okay. So I think we can, if someone is having any doubt, you can ask me. Then we'll revise through our notes again that what we did today, right? Okay. Okay. If anyone is having any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll move on to the what you say revision part. First, we'll look through our notes that you will be provided on the community group, and after that, okay, is similar to use context. Okay. Let me just someone is asking that app.context.provider is similar to the use context. Okay, so what has happened, I told you before that we have made this particular thing as a global object, right? So what is happening that instead of passing this particular thing to all of the object, we'll create a wrapper function. Okay, we'll pass all other components to this wrapper function, so that what happens when any particular what you say child of this app.context need the app.context, they can directly take it, right? What was happening, so yes, what we did is that theme provider is wrapping all of these contexts, like all of this content. And what is happening, when author.avatar theme needs anything from the theme provider, it can take directly from it. So what is happening in our before code is that we have created the app.context as a father of all of these things, not app.context, like app context provider, and we are passing three objects which are heavy in it, right? And these heavy functions are actually using this context from a context provider. Okay, so you can look at to this particular thing, if you are having any doubt, it gives more clear picture to it, that what is happening before, like there was no wrapper function, right? So if something has to be part from application to the author avatar, what will happen is that it will first pass through content, then to blog, then to blog post, then to author widget, then to author avatar. But now what this context provider, what you say, this context provider is actually wrapping all of these things, what you say, header, content, blog post, author widget, and author avatar. And what is happening, if anything is wanted from the context provider, right, you can directly include that particular thing in your file, right? So what we were doing the before, there were three heavy objects. Okay, we were directly incorporating the context provider from this, like this app.context is being provided by this app.context to us, right? So this was happening, and in the after section what we did, we actually removed the context part from here, in the heavy, from the heavy part, and we actually made a small function here, so that it is actually what you say is limited to this particular function, rather than every re-render happens on the heavy part. So we actually limited it to this function only. Okay, I think your doubt would be cleared. And there is another doubt. Let me see, where is StreamYard. So before we, is your doubt clear? You can just say yes or no, right? Before we give a theme dark to every heavy components, and after we change to outside into a single, does that is the issue? Like before we give theme dark to every heavy component, okay, after we change to outside into single, I am not able to get that what exactly you are trying to say, but dark to very heavy components, and after we change to outside into single, like if you are like talking about this toggle theme, I think this is a pure functionality, and there is like no issue in doing like from dark to what you say light theme, right? I think this is what you are trying to say. You can just ask me like more elaborately, right? In a elaborative manner, like what you are trying to say. Yes, sir. Theme is put in the separate concept. Right. Now we have put that particular thing in the separate context. Right. Before, what was happening, we have included that particular thing in every component. Right. What is happening? I have actually made heavy three times call here. Right. Heavy three times in the before part. Right. So heavy was called three times, and you can say all of these three was having use context of the theme, right? So what was happening when the theme was changing, these all three were also getting changed, right? But this does not happens in the real side. What we did, we put that particular context in a separate function, and that separate function is handling all the theme part, right? So what was happening in the before part, when you are toggling, all of the three is getting re-rendered, right? All of the three is getting re-rendered, but this is not what happens, what was happening in the gfg side too, right? When you are clicking on the toggle button, all of the things are remaining intact as same, right? So what we did in the after part, we let me show you through the code, that what we did in the after part, we actually taken the context in a separate function, right? In the separate function. And what is happening then, that when the toggle button is clicking, these particular things are not changing, or you can say only the code running, or like for you, if you are not able to understand, the only code running on our page would be this code, right? Would be this code, and it is re-rendered, it is has been rendered here, right, in the theme context dot provider. Okay. So when you toggle the theme, so you can see the counter is not increasing. The counter has been increased like for the one time, like when they are shown on our page. So for the one time that particular code is running, otherwise it was remaining as constant, only the theme is changing, right? So this was the answer to your question. So if anyone has any doubt, you can ask, then we'll just revise through the code section, right? Through through our notes. Okay. Okay. So yes. Okay. So okay, just a kind reminder that you can just fill the attendance form out, right? Because after the class session gets end, you don't get this particular thing, right? The forms, right? And I think you'll then miss the certificate, because in the last boot camp, many of the student asked me on the LinkedIn to provide me the certificate. Like I don't have this like ability to issue the certificate, like not the power of issuing the certificate. It is in the hand of like the DevTown team. Okay. In before part, we are showing theme and render count, but we remove the theme from the child, and we put the toggle button. Okay, in before part we showing the theme and the render count. Okay, so we removed that particular let me show you, because it was remaining the constant. It was not the what you say work of the child to keep the theme thing in it, right? Okay, you can just remove it. I have shown you because for your easiness only, right? When we are toggling, the theme of all of the components are changing, but in the after part, I have no related work to these heavy components. Okay. I have no related work of the theme to these particular heavy objects, right? Heavy widgets, right? The only theme is related to the toggle button, right? So that's why I have not put the theme here. If you put the theme here, right, you can write just small line of code. You will see that theme is turning dark and right, light. But what you say, the page count is remaining as same, right? So that's the answer to your question. Okay. Okay. Mm. because okay, I think it would be clear to you that in the after part I have no related work to this heavy objects. There is no heavy like related to these, right? We have to only toggle the dark or light. But what was happening before, that on the toggling part, what is happening, they are also getting re-rendered because we have used the use context here also, right? In the we have in it, you are using the use context here, right? In the before part you are using use context here. That's why that on every re-render it got changed, right? It got changed. Okay. So if you want, I think, so if you use the use context in the similar manner in the after part, so there your optimization that you have performed would be removed, right? Would be of no use. Okay, I think your doubt would be clear. And so this was the problem, right? We did the optimization and the result was this, that the theme toggle update UI CSS, but the heavy charts do not render, and it leads to a smoother app. And that's we wanted, right? We like what we did, we move the use context to a tiny component and keep the heavy widgets unsubscribed to it, right? We didn't subscribe the heavy objects like we were doing before, right? We actually subscribed the use context here. So what was happening, whenever the theme and the set theme got changed, it went to this heavy and changed the set theme and theme here. Okay, the themes here. And like this was like the agenda of like what we wanted to achieve, like the problem optimization and the result. Okay. uh, Now we can just look at these day for notes. So like I have already told you that what is context is actually kind of a shared and a global value, right? It actually creates a global value here in the theme provider. Let me just zoom this particular thing in. Okay. So what was happening, that any component that reads the context becomes a subscriber. When the context value was changing like dark to light, React re-renders every subscribers automatically, right? This was happening before, right? You can see in our project also that when you are toggling the theme, you can just close the stack. So these all are getting re-rendered again and again. Okay. And what happened when okay, now we'll look to the notes again. So why it becomes slow, like if the heavy components like big charts, maps subscribe to the context, even a small change like toggling theme forces the heavy component to re-render, which triggers like the expensive work on the server side, right? Causing a lag, right? You have must have seen that our site got lag. So right, so what developer do, they actually like what you say, they actually use these optimization techniques to optimize the site. So when the load is high on the site, when the user are more, so that our site runs smoothly as we wanted. Okay. So what we did, the context isolation, that we subscribe only small UI pieces to the context, not the heavy block, right? And this is actually we seen in our after part also, that what we did, there's a theme context, right? We created the context which is theme context, and we are actually using it in a small function rather than subscribing it to the heavy part, right? Which is being getting re-rendered three times, right? We subscribe the use context to this function only. Okay. So this is what we performed, and conceptually what we optimize in this is that stop heavy component from subscribing to context, move the context reading to the tiny component, right? This is what we have done. And any like the four world applications are the analytics board, e-commerce, product listing. So you can just go and like search that what these particular things are, right? I have shown you like one use case. There are like four or five use case which are available, like easily available to you, which you use on your like daily usage, right? So if anyone is having any doubt, you can ask me, then otherwise we'll just close the session. Okay, you can ask me now. Okay, so you can ask me any doubt if you want, right? Okay, I am looking at the chat section. Okay, you can ask me the doubt if you want to, right? If you have any doubt, otherwise you can leave the session. For now, the session has been completed. Okay. Okay, let me see. See, I have made this note like way before. Let me see that what is saying. Okay, in the maps, what you say, the theme. Okay, the toggle theme, the same that we covered, right? If you go to the Google Maps, I think there is a toggle button, right? On the top right or top left, you will see the toggle button that we already performed the same in our code also. So I think there are two or three kinds of certificate. One you get after completing if you show all the 5 day attendance to the what you say to the link provided by the DevTown. I think one certificate is for that, and other certificate is for like project submission. So you get two or three certificates, two certificates I think. So I think this is how it will be proceed, and you can just be updated on the what you say on the community group for it for the certificates from GitHub. How to access the closed, like what code? Me uh, let me see, like you are saying that where is the code, you can go to React Optimization. You can like come on my GitHub, you will see the React Optimization part. uh, Go to React Optimization, React Optimizer lab, and this is all the code where is it is in the source part, right? The source days, day 1, day 2, day 3, after and before code are written here. Okay, so this is how you can access the code. Okay, so any other doubt? Okay, otherwise you can just leave the session. We have like completed this session, right? Okay, I think no one is having any doubt, and all things are good. Okay, I think we are good to go for this session. Like we can wrap this session. If anyone has any doubt, you can just ask me now. Okay, otherwise, and do fill the attendance form, right? Okay, okay. So I think we can wrap this session. Goodbye, good night, bye.